Alright, welcome back. Hope you guys are doing well. It's been a action-packed week so far. Honestly, I'm having a lot of fun playing this game lately. A lot more fun than usual, to be honest. Now, someone asked me about one of the previous videos. I think it was a question regarding the fighters in the... I think it is the new test capital site. I don't know the exact name. It is a pretty long name. But the question was along the lines of can you technically farm the fighters that the carriers spawn, because the carriers have a unlimited amount of fighters, basically the NPC carriers. So in theory you could technically just farm the fighters and basically a unlimited ISK farm. Now, that on paper sounds pretty interesting, and honestly, it does sound kinda awesome. However, there is a problem. I actually did attempt to do that, and it seems like the rift shuts itself down randomly. Sometimes the rift lasts for like 3 hours, sometimes it doesn't, sometimes it shuts down after like 50 minutes or something. So, that is one factor that you have to include. Now, I'm no PvE expert, and I'm going to be honest with you on that one at the moment. I'm mostly pretty knowledgeable on the PvP part, but when it comes to the special sites, so far what I have seen, the idea is interesting that you can technically farm the fighters, but in the grand scale of things, since the rift isn't going to be opened indefinitely, it will despawn. And when the rift despawns, it actually sends your ship back to your original warp-in location. Basically, it either sends your ship to the entry or it will send your ship back to the station. So that's what happens if the rift shuts down and your ship is still inside. So yeah, that's a very interesting aspect of the rift. So in the end, it is still more profitable to gather a big fleet and to just clear the whole capital rift. I will do a lot more on the rifts because that was the Gurista one. The last one that I did was the Gurista Rift, and the next one should be the Serpentis one. I don't really know. I plan to play all of them, and I plan to show you how they look, and also plan to record some of the new ships. So, my apologies for the long intro again. It's just something. It's a question that I was asked, and I didn't really know how to reply to the comments, so I just decided to add the comments in this video so that hopefully I'm able to give a good answer. So if you have any further questions, feel free to ask me down in the comments below. So, as I mentioned before, today is going to be a very action-packed video. Will be lots of PvP. Now, as for my PvP ships, well, these are currently the ones that I own. I have been flying the Megatron Striker lately a lot. This is a very fun to fly ship to actually use in combat. And I usually use the Megatron when I have doubts about the situation. If I end up losing a ship, I'd rather lose the Megatron than to lose the Macarial, although the Megatron does have some very nasty DPS. Now this is going to be the build of the Megatron that you will see in the first part of the video. Basically, I went full tank on this thing, mostly because I wasn't really sure what to expect, but in most cases, most of the time, on the Megatron I actually go full on DPS. Doesn't have to have any adaptives because of the thermal circulation implant. It already has a 20% extra resistance by default, so I can easily afford to slap magnetic field stabilizers, which are currently not here. Oh, there. Oh, actually no. Where are my C-types? Oh well, never mind. I'll have to find them another time. And as for the Macarial, well, the Macarial still there, still rolls, still gets kills, and honestly, it is still a very, very fun to fly ship. My oldest ship in service. I really have a very special place for the Macarial. And I don't know if any of you guys who built this ship are still playing, but if you do, and if you're still watching, well, your ship that you built is still alive, and it is still being used. Alright, well, enough of that. It will be time to go out and let's blow up some ships. We all been waiting for that one, I know. Now, my friend has seen a small fleet warp towards this location, which ended up being a rift space. And well, since we don't really know what type of ships we will encounter, the ships that we have seen were a Nightmare, Balgorn, and a Raven Navy. But we also did have some intel that there are perhaps even more ships inside. So we brought a pretty good looking, actually, pretty terrifying fleet. A bunch of Megatron Strikers, Vindicators, we have an Abaddon, and I think we have some Megatron Navies. Overall, this is a lot of DPS. And well, the ping in Discord, I actually missed the ping. I was AFK, I just looked at local, was like 13 in a fleet, and I was wondering what the hell is happening. And well, thankfully I wasn't late on the party, so this is about to be fun. We also have a logistic ship or two. Now, usually I fly the Megatron Striker full on DPS. However, since I don't really know what to expect, could be a big fleet, could be a small fleet, could be 50 ships inside, we don't know. I decided to play it safe, and I went with a full-on passive tank. This is basically a fleet build that I used to run on some of the previous ships that I showed you on the fitting videos. Basically, since you already have a logistic ship, I might as well take and go with a tank build. Should at least make the repair easier for the Loki. And well, time to yeet. Let's jump in and let's see what happens. Now, jumping in the rift space, or basically in the Hilo space, is a bit uncomfortable for a lot of players because the loading screen is pretty nasty, and sometimes you have that lag that basically prevents you from doing anything for a couple of seconds. Now we have some invulnerability for the first jump, but further on it's going to be tricky because there is no invulnerability, so it's risky. Now, looks like that fleet cleared the first room, so we can assume that they are built for DPS. And as I always say, high DPS is in most cases not going to do very well against a good tank. Now, I don't know what my friends here have on their ships. I know that I am a tank build. My friends might be DPS, might be a mix, might be tank. We basically assembled this fleet in a rush, and you might be wondering, how could you assemble such a fleet in a rush? Well, I mean, I have contacts. We have contacts. Let's just leave it at that. So, we are going to the second level, second gate. Now they have changed the rift space a little bit. I'm not really familiar with the full details on the changes, but I feel like they have reduced a level or two. So the enemy fleet might be around the corner, they might be returning. They also removed the exit. Basically, you have to go back from the way you came from if you want to leave the rift, which kind of plays in our favor here, because they have to go through us. They have no other way around. So either they wait for the rift to shut down, or they return and meet our fleet. There is basically one way out of the rift. Oh, actually two ways out if you wait out for the rift to collapse. But we are not going to wait for that, and we are going to go. If they don't come to us, we will come to them. Again, unknown amount of ships. That's why we gathered the fleet. We don't know. We only know 3 ships that we have seen. There's perhaps more inside. Again, we don't really have all the intel, but you know, I have to admit, was quite the exciting thing to do. My adrenaline was through the roof. Good old Eve shakes kicking in, and you know, those of you who experienced Eve shakes, and I believe most of you did, know the feeling. A feeling that only Eve and skydiving basically produces. Very interesting. So, we are going to the next gate. This is the second level, that's the third level, and the last level. So, the enemy fleet is probably inside of that gate. So, oh, hold a second. Uh-oh. There's two ships. Alright. Nightmare and Balagorn. I assume the Nightmare will be the primary. Yes, the Nightmare will be primary. Okay, lovely. The Nightmare has some shield damage, which means that they have finished the rift. So, going for the Nightmare. We have snipers in the fleet and close range ships. We are basically equipped for both scenarios, which is perfect. Nightmare shield going down. I think the Nightmare forgot to turn on the adaptives, and that's why they were deleted that week. And the Balagorn, probably a DPS Balagorn, because of the Nightmare, and the Balagorn will probably have no tank. And there goes the Balagorn. Perfect. 2 kills. Alright, nice. Now, only 2 ships jumped, and there's certainly a third one, at least a third one behind the gate here. Now you can jump with timer. Basically, we have to wait out for the weapon timer to go away. All right, last room, Raven Navy confirmed. All right, we already have a scout inside. Perfect. So only one more ship left to destroy. All right, sounds good to me. Now I assume the Raven Navy is also a DPS build because they had the Nightmare, and I assume that they used the Nightmare for the guard, for the tank basically. The Nightmare bubble kept the ship safe, but yeah, their bubble is dead. So the Raven Navy shouldn't be that difficult to kill. However, it is still a Navy ship, and Navy ships are the equivalent of Marauders in this game, so they are really tanky. Really tanky ships. And let's see what happens jumping in the level 3, in the third level. Adaptives on. You can actually turn on the adaptives while jumping. This is a trick that I've learned in this fleet today. Again, I don't usually do rifts, so I didn't know. I don't know about all the different tricks that you can do.
Required.
And there's the Navy. There's the Raven Navy. Okay, let's look. They are fast. A micro warp drive Raven Navy, which probably has a full-on DPS build. If my voice sounds a bit weird, my apologies for that. Trying not to lose my voice, which happens quite now and then, a lot more often than usual. It's just part of the job, as they say. And there goes the armor, and now the Raven Navy is into hull, and there goes the expensive Battleship. Beautiful. This was fun, honestly. The fact that we didn't know what to expect made the whole thing a lot more exciting. And let's take a look at the kills. 13.8 billion Raven Navy kill, and as I guessed, a DPS build, because they have been relying on the Nightmare to keep them alive. The Balagorn 5.5 billion, a bit less expensive, but also a DPS build. I like how both of these ships had integrations for DPS. Very interesting build. And the Nightmare 8.8 billion. This one was built for full tank. Some lovely ships, and I like their fleet combination. Well then, this was a wonderful executed fleet. That was good. That was honestly very fun. I wish that they had more ships. Honestly, I really wish that they had more ships, but you know, sometimes this happens, and we had no idea what to expect, and well, it turned out the way it did. Again, was really fun, and we all had fun actually. The whole fleet had a lot of fun. We haven't been flying together in a fleet like this in a while, so we all had that nostalgic feeling, I guess. Was honestly, I think we should fly like this a lot more often. And I know these guys do watch, and I think they would agree with what I said, that we should play together more often. Honestly, this game is so much fun when you have a good team. A good team, a good fleet, a good corp, a good alliance makes or breaks the game. If you find a good corp alliance, you will enjoy every second of the game, and that's honestly from my experience here. Alright, well, I will wait for my friend to loot up the wrecks, and there is still the loot from the site itself, which means that, you know, besides getting the loot from the ships, we also will get the loot from the rift. Sometimes the rift can drop B types, A types. I've heard all sorts of stories, and you know, if we are lucky, we might get some decent discs. We got 222 million. Okay, not bad. Not bad. Not going to complain. Was a pretty the fun that we had was the main prize. So I'm definitely not going to complain about that at all. And now let's fly back. Now I'm just showing you how it looks to be actually flying back, because you don't have any exit at the end. There used to be an exit, and I remember when we stole, I think it was a long time ago actually, we stole, was it a rift space or was it something different? I actually kind of forgot. I think it was a rift space, one of the more difficult ones. We actually entered with a bunch of cheap ships. We stole the rift basically, and oh man, that was, you know, PvE players like to say that PvE isn't fun, and I would actually agree to an extent. PvE in this game can really be fun, especially when you are hugging the gate at the 5th wave at the very end of the rift, and when you have 50 ships waiting for you at the other end. Let me tell you, that was glorious. And we survived actually. We managed to complete it. We got decent loot and we survived. The most important part was that we survived. That was amazing. We all still remember that. That was one of the most fun that I've ever had in this game. We trolled with 4 ships. We trolled a 50-man fleet. That was beautiful, honestly. And the thing was, back then, when the rift collapses, it would actually throw your ship at the warp point. Basically, it warps from the position that you warp to. So we warped from the station, and the game threw us at the station, and we just laughed as we passed through the whole fleet. They were very, very angry when we stole the rift. That was beautiful, honestly. This game is so much fun when you have the right fleet. Hopefully, a moment like that does repeat. That's why this whole first segment of the video is with the rift here, because honestly, we haven't done something like this in a while, and I really do miss doing stuff like this. But well, now we are returning. There's always a chance, you know, that they respond to this, and there's always a chance that there might be a response fleet on the way. So if we end up in a fight, well, I might as well record. But I would say if they do come back, they will be countering our fleet, so we might get blown up if that happens. So, you know, that's the exit gate, and after you go beyond the gate, you are basically safe. And there was no new ships coming in, basically nothing happened. No response fleet. No. Literally 5 minutes after we docked, there was an Apocalypse Navy and there is a Macarial running a mission. They're both in the same mission. Their locations are a bit different. They're not really close to each other. So part of the fleet will have to focus points on the Apocalypse. part of the fleet will have to focus points on the Macarial. Now, the Macarials that will warp first, of course, will be focusing on the Navy, because we have to kill that thing as quickly as possible. The Navy Apocalypse is kind of a paladin in terms of tank. They're really tanky. Even if they're built for DPS, they still have some good tank. So the Navy has to get destroyed very quickly, because they can have some nasty DPS. And, well, it's a expensive ship, so it has to be primary target. The secondary target will be the Macarial. We can spread points. This is why we have a bunch of ships here, since you know nowadays everything has 1,000,000 stabs, so you have to bring 1,000,000 points. And the Macarial duo is pretty much ready to go. My friend is aligning. Okay, I'll align myself as well, so that we land approximately at the same time. My friend's Macarial is ridiculously fast. That thing is as fast as a frigate. And I'm not even joking. The fastest ship, the fastest battleship in the game. And of course, I have to say, the DPS on his Macarial is absolutely terrifying. So, Macarials are now on the grid. There is the Navy. Of course, the Navy is the primary. Actually, a pretty good warping. We can point both ships from this distance. Perfect. Navy is getting focused. They are now. You see how tanky that shield was? That's a armor ship, by the way. Of course, when we reach armor, it goes faster because the Macarials like to shoot at armor. There goes the Navy. Okay, perfect. Let's focus down the Macarial. Both have been pointed. The idea worked flawlessly. Amazing footwork and amazing teamwork as well. Footwork and teamwork, kind of the same thing, but you know, I like to give credit to my friends here. That was perfect. Okay, both ships have been destroyed. A successful operation. Excellent. Well then, it happened somehow that I got the kill there, so let me take a look at the Navy. 15 billion ISK. Well, yeah, pretty expensive and a decent loot drop. Definitely some good stuff dropped. A lot of storylines dropped. Yeah, that was a expensive one. And the Macarial 3.45 billion, also perfect. And this Macarial had a balanced build between DPS and tank. Alright, nice. Well, that was fun. This was fun. Now the Macarial could technically warp. So, again, I have to say perfect teamwork there. The idea worked flawlessly. Alright, let me see what I'll do next. I can wait in the mission. I mean, we control the system basically, so I'm not really worried about getting jumped. If any of us get jumped, there is 10 other angry folks right behind. So yeah, not a good idea to jump any of us at the moment. Lots of very dangerous ships floating around at this moment. Alright, preparing to go to the next target. Macarial duo will continue, I guess. I really want to get the Death Wish Core. I mean, just look at Sky's Macarial. That thing is beautiful. Just look at that ship. It's the Death Wish Core is beautiful. There's just no other way around it. Although, should I get the enemy core for this ship?
Warp drive active.
Oh man, I have a lot of different choices to make. Anyway, warping to the target. I actually do like this build, although I kinda miss my quad gyro stabilizer build, but this build also works really well. Tempest fleet issue, lovely. Another tanky, and this one seems to have some adaptives. This might be decently tanky little boat. We're about to find out. Gyro stabilizer is on.
We're under attack.
Yep, this one is tanky. This one is a tanky Tempest. And of course, I'm the primary target, as usual. That's just, you know, how things go.
We're being warp scrambled.
Okay, my shield is holding. Let me just align myself just in case. Navy is now into armor. That was a tough shield, honestly. There is still boosting. This is an active tank, Tempest. Okay. And there goes the Tempest. Well, definitely not full DPS. Definitely not full tank build.
Warp drive
I
active.
think they had the balance between tank and DPS. If that was full tank, the fight would have been definitely a lot longer because these things are known for their tank. The Tempest Navy is basically a Vargor in terms of how much it can tank. Honestly, they did a very interesting job with these fleet ships, with these navy ships. 15.2 billion, alright. Autocannons. A full-on tank built with a medium B type. What? And DPS rigs. Well, yeah, I was correct. It was a. No, the build is okay, but why the medium battery? That medium battery is hella cursed. Not gonna lie. Everything on that ship looks okay. Why the battery though? Why the B type battery? Just slap a large battery. Next, we have a Raven Navy. Now I'm in the revelation. Now this is a very hilarious little moment here. The Raven Navy is... Now this is a tanky ship. I would say the second... Actually no. I think the Raven Navy is the tankiest Navy battleship that we have currently. And by the looks of it, they seem to have some pretty good tank. Now, a little fun fact, both of my friends here are kinda AFK. They're kinda sleeping, which is, you know, a common thing. You ain't getting in the corp unless you're sleeping on the gate, basically. It's kinda a internal joke that we you know like to say, but I'm trying to wake them up on Discord, but that doesn't seem to work. My Discord is bugged, and well, we lost one tornado, and looks like our bubble is next. Now, for some reason, my Discord is completely broken, and it doesn't go to the correct channel. So, yeah. But hopefully, I can kill this Raven before the Raven kills.
We're under
Oh, well.
attack.
There goes the bubble. We lost 2 ships, and the Raven is now shooting at me. They can't jump because, you know, they have aggro, and they can't warp. Actually, they could warp, but they were in the siege mode, so yeah. However, eventually the Raven died, so we lost a bubble and we lost a tornado. But we killed the Raven Navy. 13 billion ISK, and yeah. I think we risk positive. We're definitely ISK positive. Worthy sacrifice, if you ask me. That was a tanky one. Also had some DPS modules, which is interesting. Seems to be the default build for the Raven nowadays. Oh well, that was kinda funny. Both a fail and a success at the same time. Never thought that I would actually see that. Anyway. We have... I think we have a Dominic's. I haven't seen fleet chat. Anyway, for this one I'll be rolling the Megatron. However, I have to say... Actually, no, my apologies. We have an Abaddon. The next target is a Abaddon.
Warp drive
Alright.
active.
However, I picked the Megatron because I expect the Abaddon to be a very tanky ship, you know. And the Megatron happens to love to shoot at armor. So I thought, I'll take the Megatron. So I munch through the armor of the Abaddon with railguns. However, you might be surprised to see how quickly this ship goes down. Now, I usually pick the ship depending on the target. I like to have the appropriate ship for the appropriate target, which means that I like to counter the target so that I ensure that the success rate is as high as possible. Now, look at the armor of the Abaddon. The Abaddon is one of the tankiest battleships in the game. However, this Abaddon is, let's say, a bit different. And usually, you guys know, when I say a bit different, you expect a cursed build. Well, I wouldn't really call it cursed. Definitely not a build for low sec. You know, you can use the
Warp drive
Abaddon for
active.
deep null ratting. You can also use the Abaddon in high sec if you like. I mean, I have friends that have like 9,000 DPS with the Abaddon, and they use it for PvE. Very successful as well at PvE. So it can do that definitely, but I wouldn't be using that build in low sec. Mostly because, you know, we have pirates like my friend and I that, you know, like to blow up ships, and we love to shoot at something that's going to be blown up very quickly. However, at the same time, I cannot contradict myself, because I also like to shoot at tanky ships, because shooting at something for a long period of time is also very fun. 2.8 billion, and as you can see, this was a DPS Abaddon with a lot of stabs. Cyber X core, beam lasers, a kite Abaddon. Very interesting. Next, what do we have? Oh, we have a Vindicator. Lovely. Now, my friend is currently, I think, in bed, and well, I don't want to wake them up, so I'll just attempt to go and
Warp drive
yeet
active.
my Macariel at the Vindicator. Now, I scouted the Vindicator. Actually, all of my friends are asleep. I recorded this at like 4 a.m. They're in bed right now. All of them are sleeping. I'm the only vampire that's playing Eve at 4 a.m. because I can't sleep. So yeah, I just decided to play the game a bit longer. Now, I scouted the Vindicator, and it looked like they were in armor, and it looked like they're a active armor tank. And as I mentioned before, the Macariel loves to shoot at armor. High DPS goes through tanks very quickly, and there goes the armor of the Vindicator. And there goes the hull, and there goes the ship. Perfect. Let's boot. And
We are
oh,
under
6
attack.
railguns. Beautiful. That was a pretty good loot drop. And let's warp out, and let's wait out the
We're
criminal
being
timer.
scrambled.
You know, the Macariel definitely has that
Warp
charm
drive
to it.
active.
I don't know what it is. I always loved how the ship looks. I love the ship from EVE Online, although in EVE Online I currently fly the Ortus. However, due to lack of time, I don't really play EVE Online that actively, but when I do, I fly the Ortus. Honestly, a lovely ship. The Macariel been one of my favorites for a very long time, and I love to fly this ship. There's a lot of history behind it. 3.7 billion, not bad. Pretty solid kill, actually. And now a armor plate. Now this build looks okay. I would replace that armor plate with one adaptive armor hardener. Would help the tank a lot more than just to slap one armor plate. Having more resistance is definitely a lot more beneficial to the Vindicator than having a lot more armor volume. Ships like the Navy battleships or the Chonk armor tank battleships can benefit from having armor plates, because they already have a default resistance on shield or armor, so they can basically improve the armor volume of their armor volume or the shield volume of their shield tank or armor tank Chonk battleship. It's one of the tricks that I like to
Warp
that I
drive
will
active.
probably start to use with some of the ships. Now, next target we have a Raven, and well, the Mach attack continues. I don't really put the videos in a let's say one after the other line. Basically, I just go according to, I think, the length of the recording, or basically just randomly when I have some good kills with targets. I usually put those first, because they're definitely more fun to to see. Well then, that was quick. This was quick. The Raven, one of my favorite targets. There is something about shooting a Raven. There is something satisfying about that. I'm not really sure what it is, but I love to shoot Ravens.
Warp
Actually,
drive
no.
active.
I think I like to shoot dummies a lot more, Dominic ships. I actually don't know. I think most of them are about the same. It mostly depends on how much damage you do and the way how you do the damage to them. And this is why I recommend that players use tank builds. A tank build that has, you know, some good stats and a good tank build can easily repel pirates that are built for full DPS. Easily, because you have tank, and if you can easily withstand that DPS, they are not going to be able to burn through your tank that quickly. But since they don't have as much of tank as you do, you can go through their tank pretty easily. One of the
Warp
tricks
drive
that
active.
I recommend that players start to use a lot more often. Now, the next target is one Explorer. I think it's an Aster, I'm not really sure. Yeah, it is an Aster, okay. And I took my good old Stratius for a spin. I haven't been using this ship in a while, although mostly because the targets weren't really suitable for the Stratius. But, you know, I love to fly my cruisers. I'm a cruiser pilot, and let's see what happens. This is one very unfortunate Aster here. I just landed a perfect warping. Okay, scrambled, webbed, and fingers crossed for a good loot drop. This Aster was actually running the site here, but you know, I was looking, I was watching, and I caught this boat. The Aster got destroyed. Let's loot the wreck. I got some Sister of Eve debris. Oh, lovely. Pretty good loot drop. Okay, let's take distance and let's cloak. Now let's take a look at the combat log. 528 million ISK. Nice. Although wasn't a expensive Aster, but still. Aster kill is an Aster kill. I'm not saying no to an Aster. Always nice to catch one of these ships. Next we have a Garmur. I have decided to join my friends on their little roam, and seems they have been quite successful. Very happy that they have fun. I'm always happy when I see players having fun. And well, I'm flying my good old RB. I haven't been using the RB in so long. I really do miss flying the old school ships, you know. It was so much fun back then. 837 million ISK. Nice. Pretty solid kill. Pretty solid kill. Next we have a Vigilant. The high angle revelation is going to be able to track properly, I hope. 3 hits and there we go. Actually no, it's still alive somehow. And the 4th hit, there we go. Vigilant has been destroyed. Perfect. Let's take a look at the build as usual. That's just 1.3 billion, not bad. And finally, not a bad build. But the Cyber Axe core, and they had the stab option. Of course they have stabs. Why wouldn't they have stabs? And that cracking noise was my bottle, because my throat is getting a bit dry, so I'll probably get some water in a second. Next target we have a Dramiel. And I have to apologize to my friend. I stole that kill. Usually the Dramiel is very difficult to catch battleship because they're fast. And a skilled Dramiel pilot will easily reach gates. Well, when I say skilled, I don't mean the Voyage Nelocore skill. Voyage Nelocore is no skill. It's one-click escape. Skilled Dramiel pilots that I know don't use the one-click escape course. They rely on manual piloting and on their own skill, and they're really good pilots that I respect a lot. I honestly do respect all of my
Warp drive
friends.
active.
I respect. They actually, you know, I've been fine with them for like, I don't know, 3 years now, and I would say we became good friends. This is something very special to Eve, and this is why I recommend it. If you are in a, let's say, if you're in a corporate alliance that doesn't really treat you good, or if they have some very stupid rules, and if you're basically not happy in the corporation, then I would say it would be time to go out and look for a
We are
better
under
corp that suits
attack.
your needs. That's what I learned basic on the early start of the game.
Warp
You can
drive
look up my
active.
character name in the search option basically, and scroll all the way down. You will find that corp, my first corp in the game. Yeah, wasn't that good. That corp wasn't that good at all. Nothing what was promised, and I left after 22 days, and I'm so glad that I left because I found KTF, I found the Legion, and I found Muck, and I also found all of my friends that I'm currently playing with. So yeah, if I never went to that one system, I would have never met them. So it was a very special moment for me when I went to that one system in Syndicate when I met them. And I'm very grateful that it happened because I really enjoy flying with them. I really enjoy flying with all of the players that you see here that are in the fleet or that are in the corp. All of them are respectable and very fun to fly, and pilots that are very fun to fly with, honestly. And this was a very nice loot drop. That asteroid is not going to be happy when they come back. Next, we have a Macariel, and this Macariel seems to be... Whoops! That was a... that was a big hit. That was a massive hit. That was a... Yikes. That's not a happy Macariel at all. 3.2 billion. The Apocalypse Navy got a kill. Nice. And this is a... interesting build. Active armor tank, active shield tank, and a golden nanocore. I actually like that build. It's not bad. It's not bad. Definitely works better than the armor build with one armor repair. But again, that's we can open a discussion about that. Honestly, I didn't want to say better because there's no really better build. All builds have, well, I'm not talking about the cursed hybrid tank builds. Hybrid tank builds combining medium missiles with large missiles and stuff like that. Yeah, that's just cursed. But there are some builds that I kinda I wanna try out. Alrighty then. Waiting for the command to go to the next target. Meanwhile, playing a game, recording a video and rendering a video at the same time. This phone hates me, I know. My device... How is my phone still
Warp
alive?
drive
I
active.
have no idea. But, you know, probably will be replaced next year when the new chipsets arrive. Cannot wait to actually change into something more interesting. Alright, we have a Ferox tackled, perfect. The Ferox is already in... well, already losing shields. And let's quickly finish the hole. There we go. Barracks has been destroyed. Now you might be wondering and asking me, what drone will I buy next? Well, I kind of like how the Nubia Red
Warp drive
Magic
active.
lineup looks. I mean, it has a internal fan. It has a very nice chipset. It has no notch, no punch hole camera, and it has an amazing design. Now, I thought about ordering the Red Magic 8. I think that's the current one. 272 million ISK, by the way. A pretty solid Spherox skill. The reason why I haven't replaced my device yet is mostly because I don't really like the first generation of anything. Like, you know that the current top tier chips support ray tracing, right? So it's the first generation of phones, the first generation of chips that support ray tracing, and I don't want to use the first generation. I want the improved one. So
Warp drive active.
my advice would be, if you're planning to upgrade the phone for more performance, wait for the next generation of devices to come out. But that's what I'm doing, and when the next one comes out, I will be probably replacing my current device. Although no issues with performance, no issues with that, but you know,
Warp
I
drive
just-
active.
I just like to have, I just will probably actually need to have one. Active cooling will ensure better performance. Now I'm trying to find someone that's trying to kill our anomalies here, and I don't want to lose any anomaly. Actually, oh no, they killed one. They have done our Inquisitor
drive
anomaly.
active.
Well, we have to punish them. We have to punish them, alright? I'm not really sure what ship it is. I'm just going up and down, basically trying to find them. And my friend is also doing the same thing. So yeah,
We're under
let me
attack.
try this anomaly. I actually also play the game on a tablet. On the tablet I don't really mind. The tablet has
Warp
its
drive
purpose. It's huge. It's a huge brick of a tablet. I think you guys have seen it a couple times before. But I don't really mind the tablet's performance. It does get the job done. But the phone has to have
We're under
the
attack.
Warp
the
drive
top tier
active.
performance that I am requiring. And you might be wondering, why don't I buy the rock phone? The rock phones suck. That's about it. Rock phones suck. They have motherboard problems. They have non-existent cooling. And yeah, no
We're
thanks.
under attack.
Warp drive active.
I don't need a dead motherboard. I'd rather have something with active cooling. So we are being currently trolled by that one ship that's running around. And my friend eventually did pinpoint their location. Now I'm
Warp drive active.
going towards them. Actually, hold a second. Why am I warping in space? Oh, I see what happened. Alright. Okay. I'll just keep on warping for the... Yeah, that's probably the anomaly.
Warp drive active.
Medium anomaly. Okay, decloaked, and now in warp. And it's a thorax. A thorax has killed our Inquisitor. Well done. Time to get some revenge, I guess. It took a while to spawn that Inquisitor that we use for... Well, I'm not going to say what we're doing with them, but you know, you can guess. And I'll just quickly remove the thorax from the system, just because they have been doing our anomalies here. There we go. Okay, and now let's warp out. The Celos is such
We're
a beautiful
under
ship to fly.
attack.
I love this thing. Really a
Warp drive active.
special to fly ship indeed. cannot wait if they release a Black Ops Macariel. That's going to be fun. A Cloaky Macariel, a dream coming true. That would be fun. Alright. Well, that was nice. Oh no. It's cursed. Yeah, I wish I didn't have to look at that. And let's go to the next target. We have a Dominic's. Okay. Waiting for my friend to undock. The Dominic's is aligned. Okay. That's good to know. We have a response to basically any potential situation. So, as usual, everything is under control, hopefully. At the same time, a lot of things can go wrong. I mean, they used to go wrong, but as time went on and as we improved on our tactics, basically, the amount of mistakes that we make almost became non-existent. Doesn't mean that there are no mistakes, but you know, doesn't happen. Like, doesn't happen at all nowadays. Can be a good thing, can be a bad thing, I don't know. But one thing is for certain, my voice might go out any second now. Oh man. It used to be much better in the past, but unfortunately, as I mentioned before, part of the profession. Part of the profession is basically my voice taking hits. But it's not going to be a big problem, I would say. Hopefully.
Fleet warp.
Whoops, I accidentally clicked on the wrong side of the
Warp drive
station
active.
there. I think my device actually fell down. I don't know what happened. In any case, we are warping to the Dominic's. Dominic's is tackled, okay. And there is the Dominic's. Let's heat up the gyro stable ladders. And Dominic's has been destroyed. Nice! That was a good one. Alright.
Attack.
Let's align. That was fast. My friend says the Dominic's was AFK. That's kind of funny. AFK in low sec.
We're under attack.
What can possibly go wrong?
We're under attack.
Warp drive active.
Well, I would say this was a pretty fun ride today. Had a lot of fun. This week in PvP. Honestly, again, a good fleet, a good team, good friends, good corp is making or breaking the game experience for a lot of players. So, I would
Warp
I
drive
want to
active.
suggest, if you are not really happy with the corp that you're at or Reliance, then it's probably time to find a new corp or new alliance that does suit your liking. So hope you guys enjoyed this little run today. If you want to support me, feel free to like and subscribe. It does help a lot. And with that being said, stay safe, fly safe, and as always, I'll see you next time.